Guys, it's Michael. I am sick, so if I sound a little drunk or a little high, I'm not drunk or high, I'm just sick. However, I wanted to talk about something that is really important to me today. It's important to me all the time, not just today, but I'm going to talk about it today. You know how if you assume that all Muslim people are terrorists, that it's wrong and terrible and just stupid? Okay. Similarly, I'm not making a direct comparison, but the parallel here just works for this comparison. Please don't be offended. Anyway, similarly, assuming that all feminists are man-hating feminazis is stupid. Are there women in the world who call themselves feminists, who hate men, and who think that women should replace men as the, dominant gender? Absolutely. Yeah, that's a thing. There are people like that. Those people do not define feminism, and they seem very confused about what feminism means and what it actually is. Feminism, despite its name, is about equal rights. There are people who aren't into equal rights who call themselves feminists, but feminism is about equal rights. The reason it has a feminine prefix is because those rights they don't match up yet. And so it's women's rights right now that we're focusing on in order to get those rights to be equal. The patriarchy, despite its masculine prefix, hurts all genders. The patriarchy sucks for dudes, and it makes men's life harder as well. This matters to me because I am married to a man and I have 2 baby boys, and I identify as a feminist. That does not mean that I hate men. It does not mean that I hate my sons or my husband. I don't even hate guys who think I hate them because I'm a feminist. My problem is not with everybody who identifies as a guy or everybody who has a penis or whatever. My problem is with the patriarchy, which is not you. When I attack the patriarchy, I'm not attacking guys. I'm attacking a system that sucks for everybody. I don't understand why men always feel the need to defend the patriarchy as if the patriarchy is a personification of themselves. The patriarchy sucks. It really sucks for everybody involved. The thing that drives me the most crazy about the patriarchy in relation to men is that it creates this culture where we assume that men are stupid. That we assume that they can't control their sexual desires. We assume that they have no control over their behavior. We assume that it's impossible for them to respect women. That's ridiculous. That's so offensive. I know way too many men who can do those things to believe that none of that is possible. I feel like feminism, in its true form, respects men more than any amount of patriarchy-ness. I respect you guys. I know that you're intelligent and capable and highly evolved and all of these things. I know that, and I want to live in a culture that respects you and me both. That's why I'm a feminist, because I want my boys to grow up in a world where the patriarchy doesn't say to them, you can't control yourself, you're a bad guy. That's bullshit. But I don't want to grow up in a culture that's telling my boys that they're inherently violent, that their sexuality is just on all the time and doesn't matter, that it's just they're just fucking Energizer bunnies because they have more testosterone in their body. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, and I hate it. And that's why I'm a feminist. Because I want everybody to get respect, the same amount of respect for everyone. Not because I hate men, because I don't. That would be different. You can't be a feminist and a misandrist at the same time. It doesn't It doesn't fit. Because feminism is about equal rights. There are extremists, like there are in any group, who call themselves feminists, and they get a lot of attention, and everybody likes to, type mean things to them, and blah blah blah. And unfortunately, those people are sensationalized, and then everybody assumes that, like, that's what feminism is, but it's not. That's not what feminism is at all. That's obnoxious, unhelpful misandry. Misandry is when you hate men. I don't, and most feminists that I know don't want to live in a world where anybody is oppressed. And the feminist community is very, very flawed, just like any other group of people, because it's full of people who are inherently flawed. There are white feminists who don't give a fuck about women of color. There are cis feminists who don't give a fuck about trans people. There are binary feminists who seem to think that being non-binary excludes you from womanhood. I also just wanted to try to explain why it's so bothersome when men or MRAs or whatever jump into a conversation about women's rights with information about men's rights. This is kind of how that conversation tends to go. Being a woman in our culture has a lot of unique challenges. Yeah, it really does. I mean, we have to fight for our right to control our own body, and that's really challenging, and it is really hard to grow up in rape culture when you're a woman. Yeah, and nobody's just gonna give us those things. We really need to work to get them for ourselves. You're totally right, and I feel like finally we're in a place in time when we're doing that, and I think that... Hey, hi. Did you know that it's also hard to be a man? That sometimes it's hard for men to be us? Did you know that? And also, prostate cancer kills more people than breast cancer, but breast cancer makes more money. And men can get raped too, and I knew you were talking about things that were hard, so I thought that I would include that also being a man is hard, just in case you didn't know, because it is, that it's really hard. Oh. Thanks. It's not really what we were talking about, but yeah, we weren't really comparing things, we were just talking about being a woman. I know you were talking about being a woman, but I just wanted you to know also that it's hard to be a man. Just because it seems like maybe you forgot. No, we were just talking about being a woman, is all. That was just a conversation that we were having. Everybody talks about women all the time now. All the time women. Nobody cares about men anymore. But nobody cares, like, at all. Well, like, what the fuck? Why don't you want to talk about men? Because it's hard for us too. It's hard. It's really hard to be a man. It's hard. Did you know that? Did you know that it's hard? Right. Oh, I know. So, yeah, sometimes even feminists who aren't extremists, who want equal rights, get pissed off at people who are constantly trying to butt into conversations that have nothing to do with them. Women can exist in their own space and talk about their own challenges without taking away from the challenges that men experience. You guys don't have to jump into every conversation about us. You can have conversations about you, and we can have conversations about us, and sometimes we can have conversations about both, and we can share and swap stories, but it's not a competition. It's not like whose life is harder. I feel like maybe instead of every time we bring up feminism jumping all over us because we're not talking about you, maybe instead you can hold on to and appreciate the fact that I'm not saying that your life isn't hard as well, but sometimes we don't want to talk about your life. I can understand the anger with feminist extremism. I'd like to make a suggestion. Maybe the next time you come upon some women talking about feminism, whether it's in YouTube comments, or it's on Tumblr, or it's on Facebook, or it's in real life, maybe just listen. You'll learn some interesting things, and then maybe when they're done, you can bring up some challenges in your life without attacking them, and maybe they'll just listen. Maybe we can all learn from each other, instead of constantly arguing with each other and getting nothing done. Women have real, very, very real challenges. Men have very, very real challenges, but the challenges aren't the same, and they both deserve their own FaceTime. So, I don't know, maybe we could just, like, respect each other's challenges, stories, fears, opinions, and all work together to make the world better for everybody. Might be a good option. Okay. Hopefully this said what I wanted it to say. This really, really bothers me and has been for a very long time. Oh, and come back tomorrow because my first original rap song and its accompanying music video are going to be up tomorrow morning, and I'm really excited, and it's called This Is What a Feminist Looks Like. And yeah, so check it out, come back tomorrow. I'm excited. I would love to hear your take on the whole thing. Let me know down there, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Bye.